if we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth.
The United States and other like-minded nations find themselves directly opposed by a regime with contrary aims and a totally different concept of life. That regime adheres to a false philosophy which purports to offer freedom, security, and greater opportunity to mankind. Misled by that philosophy, many peoples have sacrificed their liberties, only to learn to their sorrow that deceit and mockery, poverty and tyranny are their reward. That false philosophy is communism.
We are a nation that has a government, not the other way around. And this makes us special among the nations of the earth. Our government has no power except that granted it by the people.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed effort to convert retreat into advance.
It is my pleasure to come to you today to talk to you about America. We are at a pivotal point in our country. This election is probably the most historic election during my lifetime. I'm now 70 years old, and I've seen a lot of crap during elections, but I've never seen it as bad as this one. You'll be able to find my op-ed piece, and you'll see that at the bottom of the screen, at usapublicnews.com. I've been sick in recent months to where I couldn't do my Two Joes show. But this is such a pivotal point, and Two Joes is going to be back on the air frequently. I write for newspapers, and I'm going to expand my horizon because it is critical that America wake up and take our country back for we the people. And during this election cycle, it is imperative that the people understand that your choice, it should be quite obvious and clear what you want to do. But if you decide that Hillary Clinton is the way you want the country to go, then by all means, vote your choice. But my choice is Donald J. Trump, for obvious reasons. We may not like some of the things he's done in the past, said in the past. We've been trying to sift through the nonsense and the corruption. And so I'm going to give you a little glimpse of what my op-ed piece, and I hope you encourage people all across the country, because this is going on Facebook as a direct video, and it also is going to be shown on my websites, because it is imperative that we, the people, take our country back. In a few days, America will elect the 45th President of the United States. Is it a battle of wits or the desires of the subliminal idiot whims placating to political corruption? The battle has been fought hard. The spewing of half-truths on both sides of the fence, and America's caught in the middle, trying to separate the facts of truth from the spewed, overcharged rhetoric. During the election cycle, the filth, dirt, slanderous lies have been hung on the clothesline for all to see. However, the administration has deliberately hidden questionable facts about the Secretary of State's office from the public. The cover-up is on, and we, the people, are to be led like lambs to the slaughterhouse. The pain in our pocketbooks of all Americans have been really chastised, hit hard, and that's where we begin. You can read the rest of it like I said, on usapublicnews.com. America, it is imperative that we turn out and vote for the candidate of our choice. I can't express enough emphasis. And as a Christian, I can tell you that we have to rekindle in the spirituality, and that's what I'm up to in the coming months ahead. I started a program with the Refounders a couple of years ago called Rekindling America's Spirit. Last year at Jones Crossing in Mooresville, Indiana, we had Dr. Ron Johnson Jr., Dr. Kevin Beard, and other associated people come and talk about why Christians need to stand up for our country. Whether you believe Donald Trump's a Christian or not, he has to determine that. I listened to Franklin Graham this morning on Fox News. We have to bring our country back to a God-fearing, loving country. After all, our money says it all. In God we trust. We can't trust these politicians. And you know that. We have but one person that will lead us to salvation, and that is God Almighty. And so we have to elect officials that are going to take and touch our lives in such a manner to keep us from going over the moral cliff that has been established by the Democratic Party. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick to death. I look at the Republican Party and I see the 1950 Democrat Party. I look at the Democrat Party and I see rogue people like Stalin, Hitler. And I don't like it. I hate it. Go back in history and read a little bit about the Holocaust and how they want to kill Jews. And yes, the Democrat Party has already been caught on video demonizing Christians right here in America. And you want to elect these people? Are we a bunch of atheists, barbarian idiots now? Is that what this country has come down to? I don't think so. I think we are a God-loving society, and we want to try to help each other. We want to build a robust place for our young and our children future so that they can live and achieve the American dream, to own property, to have the right to speak freely, not this political crap. And that's exactly what it is. Look, Hillary Clinton using Jay-Z and Beyonce on the stump. My goodness, the language that was used on that is totally hideous. And yet, people are going in droves and voting for this clown. Because that's all she is a clown of deception and evil, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people are going to chastise me because I am very strong against Hillary Clinton. I haven't seen a Democrat in modern times that's worth walking across the street to even pick a notepad up that they dropped. I have not seen a Democrat worthy of my time and trouble to even examine them, because what do they want? They want to spend. They want to take away our rights. They want to stomp on our liberties and our freedom and take away our rights to protect our families. I don't want to live like that. Of course, my life is on the downhill side. I won't be here forever, and neither will any of you. But the baby boom generation has an obligation to set this country straight on the path, and we got to do it now before all of us are extinct. We're the only generation, other than the Generation X, that thinks outside the box, because we've allowed them to dumb down our kids, take away our rights as parents in the schoolhouse, and take God out of everything in our life. I'm tired of it. I'm sick to death of it. And I beg of you to go and look at Isaiah. Go look at the book of Isaiah and find the verse where it says, "We are now mistaking evil for good and good for evil." This is what is going on in America. And we, the people, must take this country back. This is a pivotal point in history. And if we don't do it now, we'll never do it. We'll never do it. Because we will be so far down the shaft then we'll never be able to climb out of the hole that the Democrats and the progressive rhino Republicans have put this country in. The Republican Party has finally started to come to grips with the fact that the people don't like them. The reason why the people don't like them is because they promise, and they did nothing after they took over the House and the Senate. They did absolutely nothing to protect us in America. They gave up our rights even further. But now we don't have a choice. If we do not put them back in, there is no counterbalance whatsoever to try to save our country. So it's up to you, the people, to get off your duff and go out Tuesday and vote. And if you vote for Hillary, then kiss your hiney goodbye, because there won't be a free America for you to live in much longer. I am tired of the nonsense, the crap, and all the stuff that I have seen. I've developed a Two Joes on the Street show, and many of you that will watch this will know what I'm talking about. I did it in April the 14th, 2008, prior to the election, because I saw America was going in the wrong direction. Bill Griswold, living in Michigan at the time, and I spent hours on the phone talking back and forth. And we started Two Joes on the Street. 905 shows later have been produced with politicians and others that have came on the show. I am serious about my efforts to take America back. We have to do it, and we have to do it now. We have to make our country great in the eyes of the world. We are the leaders of the world, whether you want to believe it or not. Because this was an experiment over 235 years ago that brought forth this continent. They gave us a right to express our real purpose in life, and to give us religious freedom and choice, and the continuity between being a Christian and living in America are almost one and the same. They come together like this. And that's what built this nation, is the Christians and the Jews. Not the Muslims, not the Buddhists, the Christians and the Jews built this nation. We are a Judeo-Christian nation, whether you want to believe it or not. Where does the word sovereignty come from? Where does the word covenant come from? Those are two prime examples that we find right here in this book. You got that? This book, the Holy Bible. That's where that comes from. I am sick and tired of the nonsense, and I do mean nonsense, that this country has been preaching. It's up to you to make a change. We are $20 trillion in debt because of the giveaway programs, and we give $150 billion to the Iranians, who are now going to buy our airplanes, our commercial aircraft, and turn them into military-type planes. Imagine that. The Revolutionary Army over there is doing it because their leader told them they're going to infiltrate the United States very soon. So look out, America. We're going to look like Europe. The caliphate is real. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's real. Go look at the 7 churches in the Bible. Listen to John Hagee Ministries. Get your head out of the sand and start looking around and taking note of what is happening to your country. Because you're not going to have it much longer if you keep playing the silly games of putting people in office that want to destroy us, that want to give away our rights, take away our jobs, and steal our ability to speak our mind and take away our weapons to protect us. You can't control guns. Go there and look at the UK. They took the guns out of the hands of the people in the towns, and look at their crime rate. The rogue individuals will get the guns and kill the good people. And I can go on and on and on. It is time that we, the people, stand up and take America back. Now, I'm going to do something that I normally don't do. I usually have this written, but I forgot to write it down. So, give me a couple of seconds here, and I'm going to read something that was written by Thomas Jefferson many, many years ago. So, and guess where I get this from? Right here, this book. Listen, America we are in deep trouble. Deep, deep trouble. This was written by Thomas Jefferson to John W. Epps, June 24th, 1813. What is to hinder them, meaning the government officials, from creating a perpetual debt? That part of that quote is in my op-ed piece. The laws of nature, I answer. The earth belongs to the living, not to the dead. The will and the power of man expires with his life by nature's law. We may consider each generation as a distinct nation with a right by the will of its majority to bind themselves, but none to bind the succeeding generations more than the inhabitants of another country. That is very true. That is very true. And FDR, comment from FDR, a Democrat, who did a lot for the country, but also put the country in a lot of peculiar situations that we're now living with, that we shouldn't be living with. Any government, like any family, can for a year spend a few more than it earns. But you and I know that a continuance of that habit means the poorhouse. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in a radio speech on June 30th, 1932, during the Great Depression. These are people of history. These are people from history that we cannot let go unnoted, because they knew what would happen to this great nation. And yet we fell into the dismal trap of the crap. I call it the grand cesspool that America's living in right now. Why? Because we're not doing our jobs as a nation. And Senator Sam Erwin Jr., I want the Christians to understand this, and the lukewarm Christians. Religious faith is not a storm cellar to which men and women can flee for the refuge of the storm of life. It is instead an inner spiritual strength which enables them to face those storms with hope and serenity. Religious faith has a miraculous power to lift ordinary human beings to greatness in seasons of stress. We are living this right now, Christians. Get off your duff, go vote. The great storm of insurrection is coming, and you don't want to miss my documentary if you live in the Mooresville, Indiana area, because there will be a documentary that will be coming out by early spring. I was trying to do it before the election. I couldn't get it done. But America, we are on the total path of destruction. The total path of destruction. And we have to bring God back in the fold. Any country that turns its back on God will not survive. Look at the Roman Empire. And I can go on and on and on. It's real. It's happening right before your eyes. Is the resurrection coming? I can't answer that. Only one guy, one entity can answer that. It's God Almighty. We'll be back again in the future. Keep coming back, because there's more to come in this year and in 2017. God bless you, and God bless America. We can survive. We can survive if you put the right person in office. If you don't, we're done. It's that simple. We will be done, and this country will fall and fail and will be dismal. We will be the greatest once performing nation, like the Roman Empire, down to the rubble and ashes, just like the foundations of homes all across Detroit that were burnt in the 60s, that were never rebuilt. That's what America is going to look like everywhere. And we're allowing our farmland to be bought. So think about that as you go to the polls. Which party is going to protect you? The Democrats need to get a hold of their party and readjust it and realign it. The Republicans are going to be forced into it with what has happened with the Donald Trump movement. Make America great. Now's the time to do it. God bless you, and God bless America.
We are going to make America great again.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies.